Okay, so last I left you, we had done a bunch of transformations. We talked about what makes a function. We did inverse functions. And now we're going to do expanding and simplifying expressions. Okay, so I figured I would start with, one, and I would just proceed all the way through. So let's do 1a. Okay, so I'm going to start up here so I get more real estate. So I have 3p minus 5. Okay, now I'm trying to do this fast. P plus 2 squared. Now, usually people will spread this, right? So the p plus 2 times p plus 2. I personally don't like doing that, right? I just like using some rules. If you want to do FOIL that way, you can. It'll take a really long time though, right? Instead, I just use the rule for a plus b squared. I know what it is. I've remembered it. So it's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay? If you can't remember it, no problem. Just do your thing, right? So p plus 2 squared then would just be, if p is a and 2 is b, then it's going to be p squared plus, let's see, 2 times 2, 4p plus 4. Okay, so that's what I get for this guy, all right? And that's for the, including the square, right? So it's 3p minus 5 times p squared, I write it out, plus 4p plus 4, right? So that goes there, right? So there you go. Next, I just expand 3p into each term, and then minus 5, making sure that you've got the right signs, right? So we've got 3p cubed plus 12p squared, right? So 3p cubed plus 12p squared plus 12p. Now I start getting the negatives. Minus 5p squared, okay, minus 20p minus 20, all right? Collect like terms. There's no other p cubed term, right? It's just 3p cubed. However, I've got 12p squared minus 5p squared. So in the end, I get 7p squared. Then I get plus 12p minus 20p, so I get minus 8p. And then minus 20, and then I get my final answer. So that's that. So that's part A. Now I'm going to do part B. So part B is the square of 5x minus 1 plus 4 2x minus 1 times 9x plus 1. Again, I'm going to use my little rules, right? So if I use this rule and just apply a to b 5x and b to b negative 1, then I can go ahead with it. So the square of 5x is 25x squared. Okay? Then the middle term is going to be negative, right, because of the minus, right? There's a minus 1. So it's going to be a negative, and it's going to be 2 times 5x times negative 1. So it's going to be negative 10x. Okay? And then plus b squared, b is negative 1, so that's plus 1. Okay? So try it out if you don't believe me, and we can move forward. So now it's going to be plus 4, and it's going to be this FOIL. This I can't really use any tricks. I got to do it, right? So let's see, 2x times 9x, that's 18x squared. Okay? It's going to be plus 2x minus 9x minus 1. So that's the expansion here. And so I get 25x squared minus 10x. I think did I miss? No, I didn't miss a 1x. Okay. Plus 1 plus 14 times 18. Let's see. Well, sorry, 4 times 18. So 4 times 20 is 100, right? So I just subtract 8 from that. So it is 92. So I get 92x squared. In here, I've got positive 2x minus 9x. That's negative 7x. Negative 7 times 4 is 28, so negative 28x, okay, minus 4, all right? So I'm going to collect like terms, so 25 plus 92. Okay, I can't really do that in my head, but one thing I can do is I can do 25 plus 100, that's 125, and then to get this, I just subtract 8 because 92 is less than that. So 125 subtract 8, that is 117. Right? So 117x squared. And yeah, so next it's negative 10x minus 28. That's negative 38x. Okay. and I've got plus 1 minus 4, that's negative 3. So that's the second example. Okay, so next I can do some more, and now it wants me to factor. So let's do number 2, factor a. Actually, let's check my answers. Let's see if I'm good. 1a is 3p cubed plus 7p squared minus 8p minus 20. Okay, that's good. It seems that I'm a little off with my term here. Now, did I screw up on a negative? Nope. So it is, let me check 4 times 18. Maybe I screwed up on that. So I've got the wrong answer on one of them. Oh, this was 72, not 92. Okay, 72, my bad. Okay, so 72 plus 25, that actually is 97. Good, okay. Always check your work. So we've got 97x squared minus 38x minus 3. Now we're good, now we can move forward. Okay, so 2a, so we've got 8y squared, okay, minus 12y to the 5. Now we got a common factor. Let's see, I could pull out a factor of 4, right? Out of 8 and 12. And I've got at least y squared in each term. So I could pull out y squared. But if I do that, I got to account for the 2, right? So if I expand 4y squared back, then I will get 8y squared. Great. So this is perfect. Next, minus. And now I got to put a 3, right? Because 4 times 3 is the 12 that I need. And I've got 2 factors of y out here, 5 in the original, so this has to have 3 factors of y. So that is my final answer, right? And I check my work, and it's 4y squared bracket 2 minus 3y cubed. We're good. Next. B, okay. P squared minus 6p minus 16. Okay. So it wants me to factor, right? So I need 2 numbers that multiply to 16 and add to negative 6, right? So that's going to be easy. So it's going to be 8 and 2 for sure because they have a difference of 6, right? I just have to make sure that I pick the numbers right so that I get a minus 6. That just means that the bigger number, 8, needs to take the minus. That's it. And so I get that. All right? So now I'm going to restart a page, right? I'm going to restart the page, and I'm going to do C. Okay. So y squared plus 2xy minus 15x squared. Okay. So, so here's what I need to do. I need to figure out how to factor this guy, and I need 2 numbers that multiply to 15 but have a difference of positive 2. It's positive, right? So I'm going to do y, it's going to be 5 and 3, and since it's positive 2, I probably need the positive to go to the 5 instead of the 3. So I do this. And I know that one of them has to have a negative because I've got a negative in the final term. Next, we've got part D. Let me see if I can move it. Okay, 6x squared. Okay, 6x squared plus 5x minus 20. Minus 4. I need 2 numbers that multiply to 6 times 4, that's 24, and have a difference of 5. And I need to make sure one of them takes on a negative. Okay, so that's easy, and I do a split of the middle term. So 6x squared, and I'm going to do, it's going to be, I'm going to say negative 3 plus 8. So negative 3x, okay, plus 8x. And then, so that's the middle term, right, of positive 5 minus 4. Okay, now the way I finish this off is I put 2 sets of brackets, and I got to factor out 3x, okay, out of the first term. So if I factor out 3x, this guy takes on a 2x, this guy takes on minus 1, okay, and now I factor out 4, because that's all I can do, and I get 2x minus 1. Now notice, this factor and this factor have to be the same. Have to. So if they're different, you've made a mistake, right? So take it out, 2x minus 1, okay, and what I've got left is 3x plus 4. So 3x plus 4, and that is my final answer, okay? So now I've got, if I go back, now I go back and I do part E. Let's do it. So 27 x to the 4 minus 75. Let's take out a factor of 3, right? Because this is probably going to be a difference of squares, but right now it doesn't look like that. So I'm going to show you. So take out a factor of 3, and you get 9x to the 4 minus 25. Okay. Now, 9 is a perfect square. 25 is a perfect square, but so is x to the 4, because x to the 4 can be written as x squared squared, right? So I'm going to rewrite this really quick. So this is going to be 3x squared squared. That's 9x to the 4, okay? And this is 5 squared. Now I can use a difference of squares formula. So a squared minus b squared is a minus b times a plus b, right? This is multiplied, not division. Sorry, I didn't have enough room. So now this is going to be 3x squared minus 5, right? So a minus b times a plus b. Oh, that's 5. Okay. And that's what I get. That's my final answer. Okay. So now I'm going to discard. I'm going to start over. So this is f. Okay. So n to the 4 minus 5n squared plus 4. Okay. Now, this is a quadratic that we normally see, right? This can be seen as our regular quadratics that we normally see. However, we've got a factor of 4 here, right? So that's problematic. But I can rewrite this, watch. So I can do n squared squared minus 5n squared plus 4. If I just call n squared some other letter, like let's say x, then this becomes, so if I call this whole thing x, this becomes x squared minus 5x plus 4. Okay? So now I can do the factoring, and then I'll get numbers in x, and then I can just put n squared back, right? Okay, so give me two numbers that multiply to positive 4 and add to negative 5. That's simple. It's x minus 1 and x minus 5. So in the end, I will get n squared minus 1 and n squared minus 5, because x was n squared. Remember that. All right, so we're not going to lose that way of writing it, right? Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. This is 4. Bad. This is 4. Okay. So n squared minus 4 and n squared minus 1, they're both difference of squares, right? Because I can rewrite 1 as 1 squared. And I can rewrite 4 as 2 squared. Okay? So I can apply the difference of squares twice here. So in the end, I'm going to get, if a is n and b is 1, and a is n and b is 2, I'm going to get a plus b, a minus b. That's one difference of squares. And then the other one is a plus b, a minus b, and that is my final answer. Okay, so that's what I get. And then last, I've got g, right? So g is 6y squared, okay, minus 4y minus 10. And before I do any factoring, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out a factor of 2 because I can, right? Take out a factor of 2, and I get 3y squared, okay, minus 2y minus 5, okay? This part's easy. This is why I do this. Watch. There's only 2 ways to get 3, right? 3 and 1. Sorry, 1 way to get 3. 3 and 1. There's only 1 way to get 5. 1 and 5. So my answer, right, will have a 1 and 5. I just got to figure out where to put the 3, right? And then it'll work. So let's see. And there's going to be a plus and a minus. So let's try a minus here and a plus here. So 3y squared is good, right? And I get positive 3y, and I get minus 5y. And just by trial and error, I've already got my answer, right? Because I get a negative 2y in the middle if you do the factor, if you do the actual expansion. So right away, I've got my final answer for g. Okay? So we just finished factoring. Now we're going to do straight up straight up simplifying and stating restrictions. Now, before we state restrictions, if it's not already factored, factor it, okay? So in A, we've got, in 3A, we've got y squared minus 5y minus 24 over, let's see, over y squared minus 10y plus 16, okay? So let's factor the bottom, right? So let's see, because that's where our restrictions are probably going to come out of. So, two numbers that multiply to 16, positive 16, but add to negative 10. They both have to be negative, so it's easy, negative 8 and negative 2, okay? For kicks, let's just do the bottom. They're both minus, so one has to take a plus, one has to take a minus. Two numbers that multiply to 24 and have a difference of 5, that's 8 and 3. So y, and since it's a minus here, the bigger number will take the negative, so y minus 8, y plus 3, okay? Now, a restriction would be that you can't divide by 0. So y can't be 8 and can't be, y can't be 2, right? You can't divide by 0. Now, this is the part where you simplify. You can cancel, right? And you get y plus 3 over y minus 2, and that is the final answer along with this restriction. So we good? Now let's do part B. Okay, of number 3. So 3x minus 2 over 6x minus 4 minus x over x minus 1. Cool. So again, you can't divide by 0. If I plug in 0 here, I will get 0 on the bottom. And if I plug in 1 here, I'll get 0 on the bottom. So I say x doesn't equal 0, doesn't equal 1. Right? That's what we have here. Okay. Now, usually what you do in situations like these is you put them under a common denominator. The lowest common multiple here is just the product, 6x, x minus 1. Okay? Now, if I put together 6x and x minus 1, the factor that's missing out of this guy is x minus 1. So I got to do 3x minus 2 times x minus 1. Okay? And then I subtract off 6x, because 6x is missing here, so I do 6x times 4 minus x. I got to simplify the top, and that will be all she wrote. So 3x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 2 minus 24x plus 6x squared. Okay? All over 6x, x minus 1. Okay. So the middle term here is negative 5x, right? And then we get minus 24. So that's negative 29x. This is 3x squared plus 6x squared. That's 9x squared. Okay, so minus 29x. And we got a plus 2. All over. Okay, so let me separate them here. So this is our answer, all over 6x times x minus 1. Done. Okay, and these are our restrictions that we got. Okay, next, we just need to simplify, don't need to state any restrictions, so let's do that. So 3x minus 5y, okay, and instead of putting a times sign, right, like an x sign, I'm just going to put a dot because that's easier for me, right? Oop. 25y squared, 3x plus 5y, okay, all over 9x minus 7y. Okay, now we got to simplify this. The key is this guy is a difference of squares. Now it's going to be a 3x squared minus a 5y squared, a minus b, right? A squared minus b squared. Okay, let me write down the rest. Okay, now the bottom will be 3x minus 5y, that's a minus b, and a plus b. Okay, again, we don't need to state restrictions here. Dotted 3x plus 5y, okay, all over 9x minus 7y. Okay, now look, this factor on the right side at the top cancels with this guy, and this guy cancels with this guy. So in the end, I only have 1 over 9x minus 7y, and that's my answer right there. Okay, 9x minus 7y. To finish it off, right, we got 2 more questions where we just need to simplify, and that's it. All right, so let's finish it off. Let's do number 5. This was basically unit 2. Discard. And so we've got a, which is 4x all over 2x squared plus 8x plus 6 minus 3x over 3x squared plus 9x plus 6. Now, the beauty is that we can take out a factor of 2 out of the bottom and a factor of 2 out of the top. Here we can take out a factor of 3 out of the top and the bottom. So we're going to do that. So 2x, and there's going to be 2 x squared plus 4x plus 3, okay, minus, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cancel the 3's here because it's easy. So out of the first term, it's going to be x squared plus 3x plus 2. Okay, now the 2's will cancel each other, right? So boom, boom, and this is what I got left. All right, so let's factor this. So the bottom on the left will be x plus 1, okay, and x plus 3, right? And we've got 2x, and then here I've got, let's see, x plus 1 and x plus 2. Okay, now the common denominator is essentially the product of x plus 1, x plus 2, and x plus 3. Okay, now this guy's missing x plus 2, right? So I got 2x, x plus 2, minus x, and this guy's missing x plus 3, so I put x plus 3, and then I simplify. Okay, so x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, and I do 2x squared plus 4x minus x squared minus 3x. Okay, so let's see. In the end, I get 2x squared minus 1x squared, that's x squared, and then 4x minus 3x, that is a positive x, all over x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3. Notice here I've got a common factor of x. So why don't I go ahead and I factor out a factor of x. If I do that, I get x plus 1, right, and check this. Right, so I get x plus 1, and that will cancel with this, and in the end I get, let me write that down, in the end I get x over x plus 2 times x plus 3, and that is the final answer for A. Oops, I don't want to close that. That would be a mistake. I want to close this one. Boom. All right. Next, so now I do part B, and then we're done for today. Right? So 2x minus 5 all over 8x squared minus 14x minus 15 plus 9x squared minus 3x minus 2. Okay. 3x plus 1. This is kind of painful, right? This is kind of painful. So here we can't really do our little tricks with, we got to split the middle term. That's what we got to do here. So we need 8 times 5 and have a difference of 14. Oof, right? Okay, so 0, 4, 8, that is 12. Okay, 120. Have our difference of 14. Difference of 14, 126 and 12, nope. Let's see, the options are 6 and 12. Nope, what am I saying? 12 and 10 multiply to 120, right? What about 6 and 20? 6 and 20. That looks good. Okay, so it's 6 and 20. So let's see, 8x squared. I need to figure out how the minus works, right? So it's going to be minus 20x plus 6x. That will give me negative 14x minus 15. Okay, so we got that problem solved. And our last part will be multiply to 18, right? Negative 18, but add to negative 3. Okay, so 18, but add to negative 3, that's 6 and 3, right? 6 and 3. So we got to do negative 6 plus 3. That's what we got to do there in the bottom of that second quadratic. Yeah. Okay, so 9x squared minus 6x plus 3x minus 2. Okay, 3x plus 1. Notice I always put the minus first, otherwise I got to worry about when I factor, I got to worry about factoring a minus. I'm just going to put negative first, always. Negative 20x plus 6x, not plus 6x minus 20x. Okay, so I do this, and I start putting brackets. Okay, brackets. Brackets. Okay, there should be a plus here. Okay, so 2x minus 5 all over. And what do I factor out of here? Let's see. I can factor out a 4x out of the first guy. And I get 2x minus, neat, I get 2x minus 5. Great, because that's going to kill off this guy. Plus 3, and it's 2x minus 5. They're both the same term, so I'm good. Okay, and I'm going to move over a little bit. And I do 3x plus 1 all over. And I can factor out 3x. Okay. And yeah. So I end up getting 3x, and it's going to be 3x minus 2 plus 1 times 3x minus 2. I lost you. Okay. Believe me, that's 3x minus 2. Okay. Now, over here, I can kill off that guy. I can do that as long as I put a 1. And so I end up getting 1 over 4x plus 3. And over here, I get 3x plus 1 all over 3x plus 1 times 3x minus 2. Check that out. Because here I end up killing that off, and I end up simplifying it tremendously, right? So I end up getting, as a result, 1 over 4x plus 3 plus 1 over 3x minus 2. Common denominator, 4x plus 3, okay, 3x minus 2. And this is easy. It's just bringing this over and bringing this over. So it's going to be 3x minus 2 plus 4x plus 3. That's it. So so when I bring it together, I've got 7x plus 1 all over 4x plus 3, and then 3x minus 2. Probably had more than enough room. Anyways, so 7x plus 1 over 4x plus 3 and 3x minus 2, and I got my answer, and I'm all good. So that is simplifying, factoring, stating restrictions, expanding, all sorts of polynomial and rational function activity. Thank you so much for watching. Please like our video, comment, share, and let me know if I made a mistake at all, and I can fix it in the comments section or in the description box. And I'll link also the question page as usual to the description box. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.